Does it have something to do with money? I don't have an idea. I can tell you this.
Woo!
I can tell you this. In the late 70s, when I had my choice of buying clothes, I was buying workwear clothes. I don't know why I wanted to be down with Carhartt. I don't know why I wanted Timberland and work clothing jeans with the jean jackets and all, you know. But that's what the people who worked in construction and stuff had on, and that's the way I wanted to look. It was a fashion statement for me.
Okay, maybe I'll ask the other way around. What about the kids that live here that don't have a lot of money?
That's where you can get your gear on. Adidas is cheap.
But not really, because the kids that don't have a lot of money, some of this workwear stuff is just as expensive.
Cheap, but some of it's cheap too. Some of it's expensive.
Think about a pair of beige Timberlands.
Expensive.
It's expensive. You can find some other workwear clothing that's not expensive.
The work suits that we used to wear. That ain't it takes 16 for the shirt with 16 for
You talking about like the?
What we used to wear just recently.
Yeah.
The King did.
Yeah, that's not expensive. And we
Is
used
that
to love
workwear?
that. Yeah, from Models. Those
Essential.
those khaki gear. That
She
khaki.
got the shirt on.
Yeah, the khaki type look. That's all cool. Like I'm saying, I don't think that. I mean, but for $16, you don't have to get workwear too. For $16, you can get something that look nice.
This is like how much? This expensive?
It's not that expensive.
Can I get it on the app now?
It's Fat Farm.
See, it's expensive.
It's your brother's spot. It's
I
your
need
brother.
that. I need that today. I'm gonna find something like that. But I ain't going to the city.
Okay, maybe I would like to continue with musical aspects. You said you set up your record player
Yeah,
here.
right here. A lot of the park gyms went
You
there.
were doing your show here, and how did
To the
it
street
progress?
pole.
What happened then? Just tell me the story.
The story is we felt it,
I'm
man.
sorry.
The people felt what we
Just a
felt.
second. So we were just talking about the story, about how everything started. How did it continue?
I'm gonna do a little bit of talking about how it began. The real beginning was just being here. We were just in this neighborhood. We grew up in this neighborhood, so therefore there was a feeling that God gave us about being rappers and basketball players, and confidence on that. We, kick a rhyme or use a DJ. We were here and it was in the air. That was our talent. This was our street thing that God gave us. So here we was in this neighborhood, drinking 40s or whatever, trying to figure it all out. So Jay and them would come out and set the equipment up out here, musically. They set it up here, Lemon Bullet, they set it up on another block. They had systems, they sought out and bought stuff and knew about speakers and things like that, and they'd set it up. Then there was MCs like me who come around. I ain't really, I didn't have my equipment, but they had to have somebody, so I grabbed the mic and rap. Jay was down with the DJing type situation. They turn on the turntables. And that was just a feeling. It was either basketball or that, or both at the same time. You come off the ball court.
It's always both.
Right, both. And you run over there and you rap. Some people be really concentrating on the systems and bringing the big speakers out. And from there, people started making records a little bit. And we was right there at the beginning of when they started to make records. And we wanted to be down. And what happened from there, when we got blessed into this thing, we wasn't at the very tip beginning, but we wasn't late. We caught it right after they dabbled, flashing them, and Curtis blowing them had hit a little something.
And Cold Crush and
I felt like I was
Funky
late.
4 plus one more. A couple of groups that came out that's
Felt like we
a
were
little
late.
older than
Yeah.
us, and we came out in the early 80s and rap Dog Hollis Queens.
And we got through. We came through, and then a lot of people seemed that came behind us said they was fiending to be down with this, so they were right behind us. But in my heart, I was feeling like I was late for some reason, because I used to rap with Curtis Blow on the road. I wanted to get down. But
Since he was 12.
Yeah, but then people, I don't know why, I just felt like, somebody had this before us, but now I'm talking to Tretch and all the new rap, not new, but just then they like, we was waiting to be like y'all. And we were waiting to be like Cold Crush and Flash and Curtis Blow and the L Brothers and whoever, Theodore. So we were right there, and we didn't know we was gonna be as legit as we ended up being. And then they loved it so much, we exceeded all of them, which was real cool, and we kept it mad real. So it was good, I don't even know, but we took over for a long time, and that was it. But it's all started by just hearing tapes from the city and starting to do it here and just coming through with it. It was real. It was real. It was going on in the Bronx and the Queens, and we just pulled it through. And that's basically the story that was here. It was in the air, it was out here. The turntables, they sold them on Jamaica Avenue. You buy 2 of them and they was just adding to stuff and buying more stuff and mics. And, you know, I wasn't in the middle of all that, but I know that's what they was doing. Next thing you know, they had extra speakers. They'd leave this one home. Right? Am I right about what I'm saying?
That's how he was doing
This was going on. It was going on around me. And I wanted to be down. And I'm telling you, a big part of the culture, and I don't tell people this, back then, was getting high was very important. Very, very, very important was to get a 40. And that's everybody.
Not everybody didn't do it.
Not to everybody, but to the crew that I was rolling with, was important to me was to make sure I got some weed. Very important. And I'm not saying it was helped anything, but it was an important part of the culture for me. That I come here with a 40D, have a 40 in his hand. Very important that we put in $1 each and got high. Very important.
And wrote rhymes.
And wrote rhymes. Yeah, but that was important too. That was real important. But I just wanted to break into that. Not saying I'm not promoting drugs because I don't do them now. Even as, you know, the crew don't do it no more. But I'm saying that was a part of it too. You get the 40 from over there, and there was spots you go in and buy your weed.
Right here. It was a bench.
Yeah, right. You get
benches.
high. That's why they moved the benches too, because some people just came in just to smoke their weed. Wasn't the real harmful drugs at that time either. It was just being reefer.
What about the kids today?
What?
And the drugs?
They still important
I
to them.
think the kids
Biggie
today,
and them kids, they smoking
They're
blunts
smoking
now.
a lot of weed.
A lot.
The drugs like the cocaine and all that, the kids ain't into that.
Because you fall off from it.
Yeah, the crack and stuff like that, I think that's older people who goes out and turn into crackheads.
And some
stuff
people
like
say that the weed will lead you to something, but it don't a lot of times.
Right.
So a lot of people, it don't lead you to the next level
Right.
of drugs. But some people that's just stupid
They were on their way there anyway.
But you know, a lot of people just stop straight up at weed.
A lot of
good
kids
time.
are smoking weed.
Nas and them say, look, I get my L and I go and I get a bottle of Mo. And I want to buy a jacuzzi and this is cool. It's enough for me. I get high and I get my eat on. I got my girl and that's what they doing.
Right.
But they're not going no further, most of them.
Even when they try to act like they putting crack in it, like remember your man was like, yo, you never had that in the blunt, your man Keyshawn.
Oh yeah, but then I was mad.
But that was but that was a joke. It was a joke. Even and young kids would be like, yo, what you stupid? Trying to kill us, man. Get them out of here.
You know,
They don't do coke. They don't do the young kids that I know. They don't even think about coke. The most they think about coke is they would think about selling it. They don't even think about taking it or I don't even know who they could sell it to. You know what I'm saying?
And it ain't hot. It's down low and it's real bad and you're trying to get off of crack. Yeah. But you know, weed is kind of popular, straight up, you know. They rap about it on the records, they gotta bleep it up. Just smoke my reefer and hang out in Hokatika, you know, and I'm a minister. But you know what? I look at weed like, you know, I ain't doing it, I know it can mess you up, but I know the brothers that's doing it can come out of it. I think it's easier to stop smoking weed.
Oh yeah, didn't even drinking liquor, didn't even be an alcoholic.
Alcoholic is worse, way worse than
way
weed.
worse than because they're both addicting, but the alcohol takes
really bad
effect on your body and everything, kills the liver, and weed messes with the brain. But you can see that you're an alcoholic, you look drunk.
Chiba kid be alright because he wake up the next day and be okay.
He finished.
And it depends on the brain too. Some people are stupid from smoking; they can't really handle it.
No doubt.
Some of these kids. Well, that's just the drug part. That's what kids is doing now.
The music
on the music.
And it's definitely in the music now. You listen to 9 out of 10 hip hop songs, they say something about weed.
Blunt, for sure.
Something about
blunt,
some kind of way on every album.
Yeah,
if it's one of those songs, they have to talk about something about
weed,
method or something.
They don't even talk about 40s, really.
They don't talk about 40s. 40s is playing out.
Word up.
It is playing.
Yeah, I believe that. But there's a little thing going on where they talk because they real rich. They talk about being crystal.
Yeah, they talk about champagne.
Which is cool anyway. You just get, you ain't trying to drink 4 bottles of it. So you so rich. You got your diamond bracelet. You got your beer outside, and you just feel like, give me 2 bottles and hit them over there because you large. Your name is Suge Knight, so you're hitting everybody off.
That's what you do. I do it.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I know you do. You got it like that. You say, okay, what we gonna do here, Randy?
Yeah. Go ahead and give Funkmaster Flex one.
And then
we'll give Red Alert one, and we'll have one.
Big Willie for the night. All right.
So, going back a little bit, one of your really successful songs was My Adidas, and can you say something about that? How you came up with the
We just rocked Adidas. That's all. We was Adidas when Reeboks came out, Nike came out. kids was coming up to us. We were still hot. We just put out our first album. You know what I'm saying? When we put out the second album, we was coming off of King of Rock. Reeboks came out, Nike came out, and they started talking about, you know, why y'all still rocking Adidas. So Run D caught that vibe and just had to rhyme, let everybody know about where we come from, what we do. And we just talked about our Adidas. We made a song. It wasn't to be down with Adidas. We made this song because the kids was doubting. We represent Adidas. So without getting paid for Adidas, we was representing Adidas, and the kids was starting to try to represent something else. Starting to judge, you know, because we was the kings of the street already. And the kids was just trying to say, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why don't you have on a pair of Reeboks? Why don't you have on a pair of Nikes? At the time, we just couldn't feel nothing else. So Run D made the song. We made the hot beat, and they made the song, and there it is, My Adidas. And then Adidas came to us, and then we got to deal with Adidas.
We didn't do it for promotion. We did it because it was a good hook. It was a great hook. We loved the sneakers.
Something to
then
talk
let's
about.
make it to a record. You know, we had to look at it like that aspect.
Yeah, but you also made a really big fashion statement out of it. I remember I even saw it in Europe, you wearing the Adidas sneakers without shoelaces.
Yeah,
But see, that was all before the song. That was all like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years before the song. That's just how we was. When we was coming from here, I wake up, don't put the shoestrings in them because you had to keep the shoestrings clean. And sometimes they wouldn't be dry, so you just wind up coming outside flopping with your shoestrings on. Then it got to a point where I just didn't put them in. We just wasn't putting them in no more.
I tried it lately. It don't work for me.
Don't work for me at all. Big Bo, though. Bo and Little Kev will come out with no shoestrings in them up on
I
house.
can't feel it. I tried it the other
can't
day.
do it. It's flop. It's the worst.
It's the flop. It's the crazy. Why I don't sit like
the
it
worst.
used to sit?
It's the worst.
I had it on yesterday. It was the craziest thing. Oh, I said, you are bumming.
I'm telling you,
Brand new red ones would not sit
It's still
right.
kids up on Hollis Avenue right now who will
don't
come
flop on
out
them or nut.
and they will come out with no shoestrings in Adidas and then
Yeah.
come out up here and they be up here and they be cooling out.
I can't do it.
I can't do it now. I gotta tie my sneakers.
And it look better and everything.
Hey,
Please tell me something about your new record. What's it going to be like?
it's gonna be hot.
Yeah, we just going for ours, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna have the flavor of Run DMC.
Hit them around.
coming
Give 'em
through.
around.
Let me see what I'm
It's
gonna
gonna
kick
be
to you.
hot.
Come on and check out the jam, your hands is in the air.
Yeah.
You're lonely cause the reverend is co-living on a prayer.
Prayer.
Deep inside your mind, your behind is sitting still up. But this be the illest man, the fillest jam tiller. Quarter to your mama, wear pajama to the door. Rollers on the dome and roaming on the dance floor. Pick 'em up, lick 'em up, stick 'em up, blow. Showing how I know one Biggie, no one to run down. Side to your side, left
Yep.
to your left, right.
Right.
Stride while I slide, ride, this your death night. Beats get you open cause fuck, you know what I'm saying?
Alright, alright.
We coming right,
Beats
though.
get you open.
Pizza can definitely get you open because Clark has made it super.
Alright.
Man, you's a fan because you ran into a trooper.
Yo, the album is gonna be hot,
Hot.
straight up, man.
It's gonna be hot.
We
We got some hot tracks too.
We
man.
got some hot tracks from a couple of cool producers. We doing the most of it ourselves. It's just gonna be hot.
We
You know,
even got
straight
the
up.
old school hit producer Larry Smith involved.
Larry Smith is doing most of the album with us.
He's just the bomb. He made our biggest joints like King of Rock. It's like that. Me, Jay, and Larry are gonna be working very close together, and he pulls out the wah-wah pedal. He know what to do.
He's
And we gonna
very good at
He's
music.
Good, very good. He make whatever you want, Jay. The other day I gave him something that was crazy musical, but you know, like some jazz old stuff. He made the whole thing. Blum, 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 blum. Pulled out a guitar, the piano, the bass. He went, oh, that's the Zix 3220.
Right,
the only way I can get that sound.
Right,
And he go
right.
rent that and.
So he
just-
open.
He's open.
He open. Larry's dope. We gonna always
So we
use
gonna-
Larry Smith.
That's just an old school producer that's
you know what I'm
down
saying? I was
with
thinking about Larry the other day.
He's
I
making
want
a
to do
whole Zoe album right now. He's making albums. He's
All
working
right.
it out. So we can maybe do some stuff. So we know.
Who else is going to be? Who else has been working?
We got Clark Kent. There's
Clark,
my man
Irv
Irv from
from
Hollis.
Hollis.
You know, it's this kid from Hollis named Irv. He been doing beats with other people like Mike Geronimo.
Right,
he's
right.
down with Jay-Z,
Jay-Z.
and he's doing things with other people. So we took, and he's one of the, like, he came up looking at me, and he's one of the guys after I got big. He was out here in the parks
Good kid,
DJing for the rest of the
He's good
neighborhood. You know what I
DJ,
mean?
everything.
He's an incredible DJ.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
he
saying?
know what he doing.
So He's doing his own thing. He's producing a couple of Run DMC records, you know what I'm saying? We doing a couple again. I said we got Clark. I don't know. We Busta Rhymes want to rhyme on this album.
Yeah.
I got Bones and Thugs and Harmony. They want to rhyme on this album.
That's what we should concentrate on a little bit. I gotta talk to them.
It's just gonna be hot. That's all. You know what I mean?
Something different now. Can you tell me the difference between East and West Coast style? Explain it to people in Europe because it's not that obvious.
To me, the difference is the West Coast got like a different accent. We talk different. Like even in Europe, you have different accents. You can speak the same language, but it's a different accent. They say words different. So on the West Coast, they have a different accent. It's more like a country style. And on the East Coast, not the East Coast, but New York, the tri-state area, is more. They talk like I talk. You know what I mean? And then the styles are different. We talk about different things. We don't have gangs out here. You know what I'm saying? We had gangs out here. We have little gangs out here now, but the gangs is not riding by shooting at each other in their neighborhoods. It's not about the colors you wear, it's about what you representing. The gangs that have a problem out here over drugs or something like that, they won't have a problem just because of a past problem. On the East, we stop the violence. Like, you know what I mean? Like me and you can have a beef today, and then it could be over tomorrow. Well, on the West Coast, I know I got a lot of friends and family on the West Coast. Those guys over there, it's like their uncle got killed in the 70s. So when they come up, they want to just represent their uncle and do whatever they got to do to the other people's nephews. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wearing red, my whole family wear red, and you wearing blue. So when I see you, regardless of who you are, if I don't know you or whatever, I got a beef with you, man. That's corny. That's whack. You know what I'm saying? And I go to the West Coast a whole lot. The whole East Coast, West Coast beefing against each other, that was big in Europe before it even got big here. You know what I'm saying? I went to Europe like about 7 years ago, and they was asking me, hey, what's going on with this East Coast, West Coast beef? And I'm like, it ain't no beef. But now in the 90s, 95, a beef came up with Biggie Smalls, Puff Daddy against not Snoop, but Suge Knight. No, that's still not an East Coast, West Coast beef. You know what I'm saying? That's just a couple of individuals. One just happened to be from the East, one happened to be from the West, and they try to stir something up. But in all reality, I just went out. I got Onyx is my group. Onyx just did a show in California, in Los Angeles. It was Onyx, Group Home, Eric Sherman, Redman was there, Keith Murray. It was all East Coast, and we performed right in the West Coast, right in a spot where everybody hang out. And it wasn't nothing, no problems. We did 2 shows in a row. Run DMC did a show 2 nights before that. It was no problems, you know what I'm saying? So it's not a real East Coast, West Coast beef, but people try to stir it up and make it seem like it's the East Coast, West. That's the media making it seem bigger than it is, you know what I'm saying? If you think about it, some of the kids out here think they can't even go to California or they're gonna have a fight. And some kids from California think they can't even come here and say they from California because they think people are gonna be tripping on them, but it ain't like that. That's just the media thing. As far as the sounds is concerned too, the West Coast took up, they like the funk. Where we made up hip hop. Hip hop was originated from here. That sound where they was trying to pump disco in our head. We didn't want the disco, so we made our own sound. We went and found the old funk records. Not, when I say funk, not like Parliament funk, like old James Brown records, old records from in the 70s that had nice beats on it. You know what I'm saying? And we made our own songs from those records. Whereas the West Coast made their songs from strictly the Parliament, the Confunction, the Gap Band. They just strictly stayed with the funk sounds, and they rapped over the funk where we would rap over James Brown. So that started separating the sounds. And certain songs, the radio got a lot to do with it too. Radio support them. Radio support West Coast radio was supporting West Coast rappers. And East Coast radio was supporting East Coast rappers. And that's what made a whole little conflict of rappers from the East Coast West Coast felt like they wasn't really getting no love in New York. You know what I'm saying? So it just keeps stirring up.
What about women in rap music and street style?
I think women came a long way. The first female rappers only would make a song biting, like, you know, Roxanne would make a song because of UTFO, and you know, Salt and Pepper made a song because of Dougie Fresh called A Showstopper. And at the beginning, only females was rhyming, except for the early, you know, females. But the females that was making records when I was coming up at the beginning, they were only making records to go after what a guy said and make money off of what, you know, profit off of what somebody else said. Now they just doing their own thing, and I give the girls a whole lot of props for coming up in this art form and just being their own people. Right now, Salt and Pepper, Foxy Brown, MC Light, Queen Latifah, Yo-Yo, all these girls is incredible now. This female named Sugar, Sweet Tea from back in the days, she changed her name to Sugar. I'm bringing her out right now. She's on my record label. She got a hot album. You know, females is just doing their thing. In the 90s, it's not just a male-dominated art form no more. It's all of his females in there too. I feel like, you know, until the street learn how to take care of themselves, there's something like that's gonna always go down. You know what I mean? I mean, Public Enemy was talking about Nike and Adidas, but they need to be talking about Charmin, toilet tissue, and everything else if you're gonna look at it like that. You know what I'm saying? They could talk about toilet tissue, dish detergent, everything is made by the big major companies, and I don't see Tide or nobody giving back to nothing. You know what I'm saying? So unless we start making our own businesses and putting it back in the communities ourselves, that's the only way that we're gonna be able to do anything. I know we generate a whole lot of money for these big companies, and they should put back in the neighborhood. But we've seen that go on forever. And it's not just the sports companies, it's all the companies. You know, you don't see, I mean, we give meetings up, we give, you know, like block parties and stuff, events for the kids. We never have no help. We got a couple of people in Adidas, so they help us out. You know what I mean? Now Adidas is giving back. But we don't know people at Nike, so we can't reach out. We try to reach out, things don't happen. But what I'm saying is, until we start doing for ourselves, that he'll be able to make a Shut 'Em Down record for the next 20, 30 years. Unless we start buying from our own, you know, making our own products and making sure that our people buy our own products, that's the only way we're gonna solve our problem. Because only we're gonna care about ourselves. Okay? You're welcome. All right. Cool. Run!
Take my place. Rodney. I know what 3 steps is. Rodney going back there on something. Y'all ready? Let's do it. I got to roll. Now, interview me or what? You ready?
Oh, Bo gets out there.
Oh, picture.
Murder! You used this hook too. Murder! With the double finger roll.
The knuckle roll. That was a knuckle roll. A knuckle roll.
With the hook. Who's Kaiser Sosa? Watch it. Watch it. Who's Kaiser Sosa? Look.